Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got a new star in the YouTube whiskey community, Ben Holladay. I have not gotten my hands on a bottle of this thing. I hear so many great things about it. I could not wait. I was in Laurel today, went by the Total Wine, saw it sitting on the shelf, and I had to grab it. So let's get to it.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
Now we are going to get into a blind. I did get the neck pour out of this thing. This is not a corkscrew. It's actually a twist cap. Had a nice little psst when I got to twist the cap off of it. But anyway, it is 6 years old. It comes in at 100 proof, of course, because it's bottled in bond. They give you a lot of information on the bottle, but you're not going to find anything about the mash bill. Now, this thing has different floors of different barrels that they blend together. So you've got 5% of the fifth floor, 22% of the fourth floor, 58% of the third floor, 15% of the second floor. Also, what they tell you is it was distilled in the fall of 2016 and it was bottled August 16th of 2023. Now, Ben Holladay has been making his rounds on YouTube. Everyone is just telling you how good this bottle is. They do have 8 batches, so this is the 8th batch. Now, when you go on their website breaks down every batch. It even tells you the rickhouse proof. Now, this, before being proofed down, was somewhere around 120 point something proof. You can go on their website and it will have all of the data for you. I thought it would be a nice matchup to put this, being 6 years old and bottled in bond, beside the E.H. Taylor bottled in bond. And if you notice something funny in particular, on the label it says Missouri Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, it's kind of the same thing as, I don't want to say process as Tennessee whiskey, but it is bourbon. Yes, it is, but it has to be made and distilled and aged in Missouri, and I believe all of the grains have to come from Missouri as well. So on a federal level, it doesn't have that where you have to say that it's Missouri bourbon. But on the state level, state did pass legislation in 2019 where it had to be called, if it was called Missouri bourbon, it had to be, like I said, aged, distilled, and I believe all of the grains had to come from the state of Missouri. So let's get into the nose. Now, the nose, I got the neck pour out of it because I wanted to give it a fair chance, but the nose is still the same. The nose is a whole bunch of just like fruits, like candy. Like if you took a whole bunch of, let's say Skittles, and chewed them all at the same time, kind of like that really sweet, fruity nose. I pick up oak, cinnamon, almost a little bit of like a spicy pepper. And it's like the deeper you go into it, you pick that cinnamon up. Let's go into the palate. Now, right away, it's very sweet, sugary sweet. It punches me with a little bit of citrus right up front. The finish is peppery, a little bit of leather, and that's pretty much it. It is kind of fast moving along the palate. I'm going to say that. The mouthfeel is not bad. Let's go back in one more time to the nose and palate. More of that cinnamon comes out of the glass now. And I get that a lot on MGP products. And we know that this is all done in Missouri. But it's that same cinnamon note that you'll pick up in some of the Rebel products. Yeah, that cinnamon is heavy. Just like when I picked that up in the Remus High Rye Bourbon too. Let's go back into the palate. On the second sip, the mouthfeel has gotten a little better. It's a little more viscous in the mouth. It's not thin. And those fruits still kind of stay. Everything in the nose did transfer over the same way I talked about eating a whole bunch of like Skittles at one time and just having like those different fruits come all across the palate. That's pretty much what I'm getting in that glass. I'm not going to get into the breakdown until after I get these blinds. So let me get the table set up and we'll get right to it. All right, I'm back. So if you can see this, that is A. And if you can see this one, that is B. And on the back of the E.H. Taylor, you've got A. On the back of the Ben Holladay, you've got B. So I'll go ahead and get these poured up, get them spun up, and then I'll put them on my nice little Glen holder. I got to give a shout out to Troy and Laura from Baker Drinks. They were nice enough to make me a Glen holder out of a Jack Daniel's stave. And if you look at it close enough, you can see how deep the whiskey actually penetrated. All right, so let's get these spun up. And I'll put that stave up here in a second when I go to put these down, and you'll be able to see how deep the whiskey actually penetrates the stave. And Troy said that when he was milling it down, he said you could actually smell like the Jack Daniels coming out of the stave. All right, so that's good enough. Get these here, move those there, get the wheel off the table. All right, so let's see what happens. That's oaky. A little bit of cherry. Trying to cheat, see if I get that cinnamon. Not really picking up that cinnamon note. All right. That's nice. Cherry. Yeah. Might even be a little bit of grape in that one. So that one might be the Colonel E.H. Taylor. I'm not for sure, but let's go into the palate and see if I can pick them out. Cinnamon. This has got to be the Ben Holladay. That is full of cinnamon, fruits, white table sugar. Let's see what this one has. That is, wow. That might be, I don't know. No, this has to be the E.H. Taylor, because I'm starting to pick up that grape, little bit of char, and actually putting them side by side, the mouthfeel is kind of similar. Let's go backwards. Tastes a little older. Tastes a little oakier. But I think that's the E.H. Taylor. It's got a nice berry zing, got a nice grape zing. Picking up just a touch of cherry on the back of that thing. I should have brought some water down here. Because this is a little tougher than I thought. All right, let's go into glass number one. Yeah, more cinnamon, and that cinnamon has actually turned into like a tea now. So I've got cinnamon, I've got tea. The mouthfeel is a little thinner. I am picking up oak. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to have to say, side by side, I prefer glass number 2 over glass number 1. So let's see what they are. Glass number 1 is B. Try to pick that up on camera. I'll have to zoom in. Glass number 2, of course, is A. Yeah, you can see that on camera. All right, so you see the A on the back of the bottle here, and you see the B on the back of the bottle here. Now I'm going to get into the final breakdown. So it pretty much turned out. It pretty much turned out the way I thought it was going to turn out. Because I got the neck pour out of it, and I will not say it's bad. So we'll get into the breakdown right now. Is it worth the chase? Taking into account the fact that it is $65, I'm not going to say it's worth the chase. I'm going to say it's a very good bourbon. I like it. Is it worth over retail? I don't see these anywhere down here in Southern Maryland. Like I said, I was up in Laurel. They had it at the Total Wine, so I picked it up. If I saw it down here for, say, $75, no. I'm not going to pay $5 over retail. I'm not going to pay $10 over retail. It's just hard. First of all, it's hard for me to spend $65 on a 100 proof bourbon that's 6 years old. Now, and I know that craft distillers are a little more expensive, but that is a lot. It's hard for me to do that. But of course, I wanted to get it on the channel. It is the new young star of YouTube, so I had to see what it's all about. I've got to try the cask strength versions. I've got to try the soft red winter wheat. But I don't think it's worth over retail. Actually, I would love to see it at $45. If it was like a $45 bottle, or maybe even $40, like, because I maybe I should have put like a Green River, or I should have put like the new Bardstown release on here and put that side by side, because I think I only paid $60 for this, but we all know how hard this is to get. I got this back in 2021. Will I give it to a new bourbon drinker? I do. There are no sharp notes on it at all. I think it is very well blended, very well crafted. I would give that to a new bourbon drinker. I don't think that they would have an issue with it. Will it always be on the bar? It's good enough to keep this bottle on the bar. I do like it, but like I said, $65 is just a lot to spend for a 100 proof bourbon. When I know I can just, nothing to, because this is one of the oldest distilleries in Missouri. I mean, it's got the DSP MO number 5 on it. So I mean, when you read into the history, that thing has been around for a long time. Now, I think just over the last 50 or 30 years, they've been under the same ownership. But I just, like I said, man, I will keep this bottle on the bar, but I don't see myself running out to the store to spend another $65 on a 100 proof bottle. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head into a drop. Till next time.